Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. And before we get into it with our guest here today, I'd like to remind everyone that if you enjoy this content, to please give a like and subscribe down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. We have Alyssa on the podcast. She's coming to us from New Hampshire. Again, I don't know if I've had a guest on from New Hampshire. I might have to double check because I'm trying to get all 50 states on. So it might be a new one for us. I don't know. Like I said, I will have to check after this, but she's on prep right now, and she's coming on here to share her health and fitness journey and just discuss all things health and fitness. But most importantly, she's our current guest. Alyssa, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, I normally ask about the weather, but we're not even going to do that because we just talked about that before we started recording, and it's during, this will be out like a few weeks after we record, so it's during whenever the whole air quality was absolute dog crap for everyone. It's just, oh my God, it's miserable out there. So I'm going to switch topics really quick because I don't want to stay on that for too long. I had a guest on yesterday where we talked about that a little bit, and they're in Nevada where apparently they get that all the time. So it was nothing for them. But Alyssa, to get things started, why don't you first off give us your backstory and what inspired and motivated you to get in shape and eventually start doing bodybuilding?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I was like a three-sport athlete, like super into sports. And then when I got to high school, um, I started struggling with chronic pain. It started in middle school, but then just kind of worsened through high school. I have fibromyalgia and chronic migraines. And so I ended up like quitting all of sports, and like all through the rest of high school and like the first years of college, I was just like lazy. I did not do anything. Like I was the type of person that would always talk about how much they hated to exercise. Like that was me. Um and then um
Please tell
just
me your friends are giving you crap right now for being that person and now doing this.
they really don't, thankfully. I'm hoping that they just don't remember. I know that they're probably gonna watch this. Just hey guys, don't bring it up. Uh, but yeah, and then COVID hit, and I'm 5'8", and during that time I got up to like 200 pounds. So I struggled a lot with my weight and just like eating and like over consuming alcohol. Um, and then like things let up a little bit and I was able to get a job and like move my body. Like I was working in a restaurant, so I got a lot of steps and was able to like lose some weight. And then God, I'm not even sure when. It was probably like the spring of 2021 I first like got into the gym and like lifted weights. It had just like never really been introduced to me. Like when I played sports in high school, we never had like weightlifting programs because we were girls. So I was introduced to the gym by the guy that I was dating. He was getting into the gym and I just kind of tagged along, and I had no idea what I was doing. He had no idea what he was doing. And like that relationship ended, and from there like I was just like so consistent, like 5 to 6 days a week, like never missing, like just super super consistent. Like I had no idea what I was doing, but I just kind of taught myself along the way. Um and just like completely fell in love with it. Like I changed my major to sport and exercise physiology. I graduated in December. Um and then like about 9 months ago, like October, November, I started working with my coach, Daner from Fem Evo. She is fantastic, wonderful. I cannot say enough good things about her. Um, and yeah, now I'm in prep for my first like season of competing. I'm doing 2 shows. I'm 6 weeks out, 6 and 7 weeks out, and yeah, it's honestly insane how much has changed in the past 2 years.
How do you deal with mentally just the fact that your body has changed so much in those 2 years? Because for so many people, especially if you started from a spot where you might have been like overweight or some people are really skinny, they always seem to identify as that person for a while. What was that like mentally, just adjusting to the new body that you had?
It was super weird, because I like, before I even started weightlifting, like, I lost 60 pounds. Um, like, some of it was from weightlifting, but most of it was just, like, from, disordered eating habits and, like, just, you know, my expenditure getting up from starting to work again and, like, things kinda going back to normal. Um, so I lost, like, quite a bit of weight before I got into the gym, so I started really skinny. And I was never skinny. Like, I was always, like, a little overweight, like, a little on the heavier side, like, I had no muscle. And so, like, when I started, I was, like, really lean, and so when I started to get some muscle, like, I thought I was, like, crazy huge. Like, I had such an ego, and I was so little.
We've all
Um,
been there.
like, looking back, like, I was just, like, so proud of, like, my tiny little muscles, because, like, I really started from, like, seeing myself at 0. So it was such, like, a cool journey to, like, watch myself grow, but I have literally seen myself in every single, like, body composition possible at this point.
I mean, I remember the beginner gains as well when you think you're God, basically, and you're just like, everyone look at me, and then
Yep.
unfortunately that next stage is not as pleasant where you finally start to realize that you're never good enough, you're never big enough, no matter what you do. But did you have any misconceptions or concerns about competing in bodybuilding ahead of time? Because there's so many myths and stereotypes about the sport just in the general public that a lot of people just don't have the right information before they even get started.
Yeah, so, like, growing up, I bodybuilding was not in my, like, sphere. Like, I knew about it, but, like, from a very, very far distance. Like, people talk about, like, Arnold here and there, but they just, like, mentioned that he's a bodybuilder. Like, I never, like, really, like, dived into it or anything. Like, I had no idea what women's bodybuilding was. Like, I never heard of any women bodybuilders. Like, it's just not a thing in my area and, like, with the people that I know. And, so when I started getting into the gym, like, a lot of what I was doing and, like, people that I was learning from, I found, like, through social media and, like, TikTok. And so eventually I got on, like, bodybuilding TikTok, and for a while, all I saw was, like, girls that competed in bikini. And, even when I was really new to the gym, like, I fell in love with, like, like, a big upper body, like, a more masculine upper body, like, I just absolutely adored the look, and, I would always see, like, bikini girls, and they have such beautiful physiques, but it just wasn't, like, how I wanted to look. And then, like, the deeper I got into the like, fell down the rabbit hole, like, I learned more about the different divisions and the differences and, like, what they look for and everything, and I found figure, and I absolutely fell in love right away. Absolutely fell in love with Sydney Gillen. She is my she is just everything, like, that I want to embody, and from there, like, I've never looked back. I was just like, "This is what I wanna do," probably, like, a year and a half ago, and, like, I got it in my head that, like, that's what I wanted to do, and, like, because of my chronic pain, and I also have, borderline personality disorder, so, I just, like, was, like, full of, like, doubt. I just, like, didn't really think I was gonna be able to do it, but then, like, I finally started working with a coach and, like, her support and, like, belief in my potential just, like, really helped me and, like, motivated me to, like, really pursue it. Um, because, like, looking back, like, she must have saw, like, something because, um, my physique has turned out so, like, so much better than I could have hoped already. Um, And I'm just, like, so thankful that, like, she saw that in me because it just really helped.
How have you coped with the chronic pain and a lot of the working out? Because a lot of times people don't assume that those two go together.
Yeah, so, at first, it was really hard, it really sucked, like, I would have, like, a huge migraine after every single lift, like, just pounding, and I just kind of loved it enough to push through and to, like, get through those sessions and to, like, deal with the pain afterwards, and eventually, it actually has helped my pain. Like, I just well, right now, I feel not great because I'm 6 weeks out, but, like, usually, I just have, like, so much more energy, like, I can just move my body easier, like, I hurt less, like, even though, like, my muscles are sore, like, there's just, like, less fibromyalgia pain. I've noticed that my migraines are more manageable, so I just really had to push through the hard part. Um, and like all of my doctors and everyone always tells you that like exercise will help. And it's just so hard to believe when like whenever you try to do it, it just hurts more. But you just have to get like I just have to get through like that like hurdle to get over that. And then it helped so much.
And a lot of people that I talk to, they prefer that 4 to 6 weeks out look more than they do the stage look, just because they think it looks a little bit more. I mean, it's not like so dry and depleted. Do you prefer this look or do you like the stage look more?
So I've never been stage lean before, so I'm not sure how, but I will say that like I have felt the same about myself, like, throughout prep. Like, there are days that I feel, like, absolutely on top of the world, like, I am the hottest shit to ever exist, and then there are days where I'm like, I am nowhere close to where I need to be, I'm not lean enough, I'm not lean at all, I'm tiny, I, like, look horrible, I'm gonna get last place. Like, throughout every phase that I've been in, I've felt, like, pretty much the same about myself, um, but I will say I do have a lot more confidence now just because I'm like, "Yeah, I built this." Like, it's not just, like, luck or genetics, like, I put a lot of, like, blood, sweat, and tears into it, so it's, like, something I can be proud of, um and I just also like who I am as a person a lot better now. I'm so much more disciplined. Like I have a lot more self-respect. Like I've just the sport has like made me so much of a better person.
And what were your friends and family's reaction like when you announced to them that, like, hey, I want to give bodybuilding a try?
I think everyone was pretty shocked. Because like I said, I was always the one that like never wanted to exercise, notoriously hated exercise. And then I was like, "Yeah, no, I think I wanna bodybuild." Um, I don't think most people really thought it was gonna go anywhere, um, which it's just so fun to, like, prove them wrong. But, everyone was so supportive from the beginning, like, my family has shown so much just support, especially my mom. She just, like, goes out of her way above and beyond to, like, be there for me and, like, support me and, like, for my 2nd show that I'm doing, I'm flying to Virginia, um, and, like, she's coming with me, she's gonna be there for me, my coach is in the UK, so she's not gonna be able to be there, so, like, my mom's coming to, like, kinda stand in as, like, that comfort, and so I just have so much support from my family, which is so nice because, like, they're not into fitness or anything. They don't know anything about bodybuilding. They just know that, like, I'm really passionate about it and that it has changed my life for the better. Um, and so they support it just because of that.
How did you find your coach? Did you look him up or were you referred to him? How did that come to be?
Um, so when I was like first getting into like following fitness influencers and everything, like one of the ones that I like really liked, Georgia Daniels. I love Georgia Daniels. I think she is fantastic. And like I'm not sure when they started working together, but she used to be coached by Aaron Thompson, who is like the founder of FemEvo. And so she ended up like being brought on as a coach for a little while. She wasn't there for super long. Now she's with Hustle Harder, but I just like followed her and like really liked her journey, and then like she started working with them. So I had talked to Rhea Gale from Fit Body Fusion, and I really liked her, but it was just like a little too expensive for me. And so I decided I like filled out all the like paperwork for like a consult call with FemEvo, but then I never like sent it, but, like, they have it set up so, like, if you fill everything out but don't hit send, like, they'll email you and be like, "Hey, like, did you mean to hit send?" And so, like, I clicked, like, "Yes, I meant to," and, like, booked a call with Dana and immediately fell in love with her. Like she had like actually taken the time to like go through like my like Instagram and like look at my like transformation and like look at my like training videos, and she like knew stuff about me already, and was just like so supportive from the beginning. And I was like, okay, like this is like the kind of person that I want to work with. Like, and like we just have really great chemistry. Um and so like I was pretty much sold from the beginning, and yeah, like it was kind of just like luck that they had that set up, because if not I probably would have forgotten and maybe never like booked a call with them. Um but yeah, we can all thank Georgia Daniels for finding Dana.
Yeah. It's always the little things like that that I always love that just happen to fall right into place. But I also love to talk genetics on this podcast because the amount of times that I hear from people, oh my God, I want his arms, I want their abs, I want her back. And it's just like, you just want to strangle them and just be like, you cannot look like someone. I could train just like Jay Cutler does, do his same protocols. I could do everything. I'm not going to look like him. But unfortunately, you know, a lot of people still believe that. But whenever someone first gets started in the gym, they always have that one body part that really, really takes off that they don't have to train as much. And then they have that one body part that just drags behind that they have to train to oblivion. What was one body part that took off for you, and what's been one body part that you just had to drag behind?
So my back like has been definitely one of my strong points for a while now, thankfully, um, because that's really what you need for figure. Um, Always had a really strong back, always have really liked my back, have always felt like I've had a lot of growth. Um, but until I started like working with my coach and like actually training my shoulders correctly, like I experienced no growth there. Like looking back, like there was absolutely nothing. Um and like I really thought I was like huge, but I was not. But like now that like I train them properly, they have grown to be like pretty big. But like I have to train them like hard and like very frequently. So like there's been like so much effort and like work that has been put into like my shoulders. Um so now they have like kind of caught up because there's just like so much emphasis on them. But they're definitely something that I really needed to just like beat the shit out of to get them where I wanted.
People always ask what's the advice, and especially for shoulders too, because that's the one body part that I think most people, especially women, struggle with. And then I always just tell them, yeah, you just got to train it frequently as well. Don't just do like the one a week. You might have to do two, or if you're really crazy, you might have to do the 3 a week. I don't recommend that, but you know, hey, everybody has their own poison. But yeah, it's all about, you know, just getting all that work in. But you're also a college student as well. How have you been able to balance just all these things in your life?
Um, Honestly, my social life is what takes a hit. Um, and it's really my own choice. Like, I'm very introverted and I'm very okay with being alone. I really enjoy my own company. Um, I've had like a kind of weird college experience. Like I transferred after my first semester and then like COVID shut everything down and I've changed my major a lot. So I've never really had like a group of friends throughout college. I never really made like that college friend group. Um, and then about a little under a year ago, like I got sober. I stopped drinking, stopped going out, and like I cut off a lot of people that I like only hung out with when we were drinking. Like the people that like only wanted to see me
The
at the
cool
bar.
people, basically. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Um, and so like I kind of like lost the avenue to like make new friends also because like I'm in New Hampshire where all anyone does is drink and I go to a party school because it's in my hometown and uh it's just it can be difficult to make friends even though I am in like a health and fitness like major. Um, it's still like the culture everywhere, and it's just not the culture that I want in my life anymore. Like I definitely partied my fair share, um, but now it's just not my thing. But I found like such a good supportive like gym community. I go to a really small commercial gym, so it's a little tough. Especially now that I am lean and people can see that I have muscle. So now they respect me, um, and also have to give me weird compliments.
What is that like? Because, like, yeah, you're not the average looking woman. And I've always found that fascinating how you become like a mini celebrity where just it's human nature when you see something that's different to just kind of just maybe take a little bit more of a gander at it. But it's just so many people, they struggle with it at first. And it's just, I've always found that it's never happened to me. Like, even when I was at my biggest, like, for a guy to be as big as I was, I mean, it's like, oh, that's just above average. But, like, what's that like for you?
So like I look at myself and I don't think I'm like huge or anything. Obviously like I am like everyone else and compare myself to people way bigger than me and I'm natural. And so I compare myself to people who are very much not natural. But it for my town, I am definitely not small. And I'm really lean right now. So like you can see that I have muscle. And it is weird. People think people just forget that you can see them. Um, I get so many more looks. I'm a server and I get a lot more eye contact, especially from men. You can just kind of see it in their face that like beforehand, like I never really got like that like look in their eye. But, like now I can see it and it's such a weird little shift because like most of the time it's not like even comments. Like there are some here and there. Um, but just like the weird little shift and like I like wear like big clothes a lot of the time because I'm freezing and also it has been so cold in New Hampshire still. Um but like there was a nice couple of days and like I went grocery shopping and I made the mistake of wearing like a tank top. An old man,
Hopefully you learned.
I trust me, it's never gonna happen again. An old man stopped in his tracks. He literally had his cart and he stopped and just was at like my shoulders and like arms. And I was like, you're literally 3 feet in front of me. Like, this is so weird. And then I had to walk down the same aisle as him. So it's definitely an experience.
You should have just been posing the entire time you were walking down the aisle in front of him. Just been like, yeah, get your camera out. Yeah, let's do this. No, but
I
it's
really
just
don't
so
know.
fascinating how people react to that stuff.
Yeah. Like, I describe it as feeling like a zoo animal or like some sort of exhibit. Like, it's like I'm not a person anymore. It's so weird.
Again, that's one of the main reasons why why I kept doing this podcast is because, like, yeah, it just shows like they're just people like everyone else who just have more dedication in the gym than you do, and I think it just comes down to the monkey brains in all of us when we just see something that's larger and stuff. We're just like, what's
Yeah.
going on, really? So it's just an evolutionary thing, I guess. But I mean, as you're getting closer to this show, what has the prep brain been like so far? Because that to me is the most hilarious thing about this lifestyle is just how stupid people get the closer they get to a show.
Um, Honestly, it hasn't been too bad so far,
You just
knock on
jinxed it, by
wood.
the way. Yeah.
I know. Knocking on wood. Hasn't been too bad so far. There's definitely been some things that I noticed, especially because I am a server. Like, excuse me, I just drank soda. We have like a outdoor patio and like everything that is inside, obviously, that we need. So like sometimes I'll be out there like talking to like a table and they'll be like, "Hey, can I get like a side of mayo?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, of course." And I will forget by the time I get inside. And then they'll come in and be like, "Can I get that mayo?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." Um, and so I honestly really appreciate the people that like just like nicely give like a little reminder when I forget things. Because like I want them to have what they want. I am just like a little dumb right now. So like there are little things that I notice, but nothing crazy. But like my prep has been really smooth and my calories haven't changed in over a month now, honestly. Uh because like I've just been responding really well. So I'm really, really lucky in that respect. So right now we're still doing okay. We're still good. Fatigue is definitely kicking in though.
Well, closure is everyone. I'm about to use the C word, cardio. Now, I hate it more than life itself. When it comes to cardio, like I said, I go for walks. I don't really count that as cardio. That's just, to get my steps in the day. But when it comes to actual running, I just hate it. What is your relationship like with cardio?
um, Honestly, it has improved. Uh like I always like there's usually like a really off day like once a week, once every 2 weeks where just like my body is just not working with me. I think fibromyalgia definitely plays like a role in that. Like I have fatigue problems. It's just like something that I kind of have to deal with, and I like just push through those sessions like as well as I can. Um but I am just like definitely in the best shape cardiovascularly I have ever been in. It used to like because I played field hockey in high school, and so like I was in like really good shape then. And like all throughout like the beginning of my lifting career, that's what I would always refer to as like my like best shape, like cardio wise. But like it's right now is the best shape I've ever been in. Like, if I have to do like 25 minutes of cardio, um, like my heart rate's supposed to be 140. So I just like do like a quick 2 miles and like I'm not killing myself. Like, usually I'm not even like out of breath. Like, my legs probably hurt because they're sore all the time because I'm 6 weeks out and my recovery is pretty shit right now. Um, but like there's been no other time in my life where I would be like, oh yeah, no, it's a quick, easy 2 miles. Like that's just insane. And especially to like not even have that bad of a time doing it.
You're really going to jinx this podcast with having a black cat appear on the screen? Come on now. No, that's not, what's the cat's name?
Her name's Bellatrix.
Oh, come on. Real Bella. Okay, that's a great name. That's the first cat I've ever met named Bellatrix, but I've always that's a great name. So I trust you're a Harry Potter fan then.
I am. It's also the name of a star. I am a little bit of an astrology girly, so
That's every 22-year-old girl I've ever met, so don't worry, you're right on track. I had one guest who, after I did the podcast with them, she made me tell her my birthday, and then she made my entire sign. It was like 10 paragraphs that she wrote me about stuff, and she's like, what time of day were you born, and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know, and I had to ask my mom, and then my mom told me, and then she's like, well, based on that, like, I have to change things up a little bit, and I'm just like, oh my God.
I'm not, like, that
Yeah.
deep into it, like, I more so just, like, think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know very much. Like, my brain is way too filled with, like, bodybuilding to have space for anything else.
All I know is that I'm a Cancer, so the fact that I'm just not crying constantly means that I'm having a good day, basically. That's all I really, took from that. So, yeah, but I found it, I went through like a couple week phase where I was just like looking into that stuff when I was like in my late, like during college, just because if you wanted to pick up a girl, you basically had to have a basic knowledge of astronomy just so that you could at least have something to talk to. But yeah, it's fascinating. Like, I will say that, like, there are some coincidences all the time that you look at and you're like, hey, I am kind of like that, where there is, a tad bit to it. But yeah, I respect people that do astrology, because yeah, it's a cool thing actually when you honestly get into it. But yeah, but oh God, I'm just having memories right now of all the times that I had to like go up and talk to people about astrology, and just your brain is just like, I feel so dumb, kind of like when you're on prep. But hey, you do what you got to do. But
Yeah.
where do you go mentally to be able to get through those days when you're just feeling like crap, especially when you have chronic pain, like you have fibromyalgia? Where do you think it comes from? Because a lot of people that I talk to, like, they don't have to deal with the stuff that you're dealing with, so it's just extra added on. Really, where's that mental strength come from, do you think?
Um, Honestly, it has come from just, like, showing up for myself every day. Like, every single hard day that I've gotten through has made the next hard day so much easier. And, like, at this point, when it's hard, like, if I'm on the Stairmaster and, like, I really don't wanna do, like, the last 15, 10 minutes, whatever it may be, like, I can just tell myself, like, that I'm capable of doing hard things and, like, that I have the ability to do it because I've proven it to myself over and over again already. Um, and I think just, like, yeah, like, my passion for this sport and, like, wanting to give prep everything that I can to, like, at the end of it, be able to be like, "Okay, there's nothing else I could have done, like, I gave it all I had, like, I put everything on the table." Like, that will be, like, a successful prep. Like, it won't matter, like, where I place, like, it won't matter what happens, um, because, like, I know I will have been able to just be like, "Okay, I controlled everything that I could control." And, like, at the end of the day, that's really all I can ask for.
And I mean, from my rudimentary knowledge and experience with women, because I am 28 and I do realize that the only way that we're ever going to get along is that we just got to say we know nothing about each other. But I would imagine for a woman, it's very hard to walk up on stage in a bikini, and it's, especially for a lot of people, that's very nervous for them. How are you feeling about that? Are you excited to do it, or are you just nervous about it? Where are you at right now in that process?
I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm nervous. More so just, like, I'm a perfectionist, so I really want to nail my posing. Um, Being in a bikini, I've kind of just, like, come to
Is
terms
the
with
one
it.
behind you on the thing? Is that the one you're gonna wear?
No, that's just my posing
Oh,
suit.
okay.
That my real bikini, the color of it is being kept a secret. Nobody knows except for, like, my family and my coach. Um, but yeah, like, definitely as someone, like, growing up, like, very shy, introverted, I always had, like, no self-confidence, like, I have BPD, so, like, I've always had issues in that, like, area, like, high school me, if, like, I told her that like, she was gonna get on stage in a bikini and, like, pose for people, she would lose her mind. She would be like, "There's no way." Um, so, like, it's definitely kind of mind-boggling, But at the same time, like, I can't wait. Like, I am so excited. Um, like, just everything about it, I'm just so excited for. Like, I'm so excited to meet the people. I'm so excited to like wear my bikini. Like, I'm just so in love with it. I have never gotten my makeup professionally done, so like I'm excited for that. Um, so it's definitely insane, especially like because nobody around here knows what women's bodybuilding is. So like when people ask me, I pretty much have to be like, yeah, no, I get on stage in a sparkly bikini, and then you immediately see the shift where they're like, and kind of lose a little bit of respect. But that's fine. They don't know the sport. They don't understand it, and that is fine with me. It is not my job to like persuade anyone to respect me for what I do.
I get these comments all the time of like how we make the sport popular, and you just got to realize that like it's not a sport for everyone. Like you just got to get
Yeah.
into the audience that enjoys it. But I had one guest who I lovingly refer to as an idiot because they are with this question they asked me. They said, "What are you? Are you more an introvert or extrovert?" And I had to tell them, I message random people on Instagram that I've never met before, never talked to, and ask them to come on a show where I talk to them. Would an introvert do that? And my severe case of ADHD, it's like, no, that's not. So I always find it funny that a lot of my guests are introverts, whereas me, like during COVID, I was almost just sitting in a chair in the corner going crazy, just like not talking to people. Like I was almost at the point where I was gonna have to walk outside and just start talking to myself. And then the neighbors are like, "Oh God, there he goes again, just talking to himself and doing his thing. He's got to get his words out of the day." So, thank God for this podcast, I will say. But when you mention posing, and especially figure, the one pose that I've talked to, at least 100 figure guests on, the front lat spread is the hardest thing for so many of them. How did you do it? See, we get that reaction just mentioning those three words. We get that reaction every single time. What was your experience like trying to master that? Because it's one of those where it just takes so much effort.
Yeah. And like first getting into figure, and when I first started posing, I thought it was the easiest because I was doing it so wrong. Um, like the better you get at it, the worse it feels and the harder it is. Um, which is so unfortunate. Um, but like I've never had a posing coach. Danner does all my posing with me. She is fantastic. God, I love that woman. Uh, but like before I even started working with her, I just like watched tutorials on YouTube and like actively tried to do it in real time and would just like set up my phone camera so that I could kind of see myself. Um, and I just practiced over and over and over again. And now I have Danner to help me. Thank God. But yeah, it's just so many things you have to think about all at the same time. Like for me, also have scoliosis. So my shoulders are uneven. So I have to think
How
about
are
like
you doing this? Like, what the hell?
um, so one of my shoulders is higher than the other, and it really comes out in this pose. So like at this point, I have to like think about that. And also, I'm really bad at engaging my abs in my front pose. So like I'm trying to figure out how to do that correctly. And also engaging your quads is real hard and you're squeezing your glutes and like you're like pushing out at the same time, and so it's just so many cues going on in my head all at the same time, and like it feels horrible because like you're kind of hunched over, as weird as it sounds like from the side. You're like kind of like, it doesn't look good from the side, um, or back, um, because like the judges are below you, so you kind of gotta like round over, like you're pushing your butt back to like make your waist look smaller. Like there's just so many things happening at once. Um, Definitely a very hard pose uh, to master.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. I can't even imagine that you're even standing or sitting down right now talking to me with all that stuff. That's ridiculous in a good way. More power to you, because God, man, I don't know if I could be able to. So how did you fix the shoulder thing? If one shoulder is just bigger than the other, did you just have to train another side a little bit more? Or how'd you fix the kind of imbalance?
So one of them is still a little bit bigger than the other one. It's not super noticeable most of the time, but like just me, like looking at myself all the
After we're
time.
done recording, you're going to tell me what side it is, and then I'll look through your photos and see if I can tell myself. I don't want everyone to hear, to see, to tell, to know and look for it, but I'm going to have to find out, and I'm going to look for it and be like, no, she's crazy, because a lot of these people are when it comes to their body. Unless it's like Notre Dame, and then she's just like literally just like Quasimodo, which I don't think is the case.
Um, but mostly it's just like the curve of my spine just makes it so like the like bones sit differently. So it's not even like the muscle that's imbalanced, it's just like my bone structure. So I kind of just like have to compensate by just like raising. So it's just like kind of positioning. And especially in my back pose. Sorry, my cat is shedding all over
No
me right
worries.
now. um, but like especially in my back pose. Um,
That's why we got a non-shedding dog at our house. That's that. My mom, that was her one stipulation. That's why we, we got to get a non-shedding one. And I complained at first because I wanted a golden retriever, but after a while, I was like, thank you.
yeah, she definitely sheds, and she definitely sheds a lot. But she's very cute, so it makes up for it.
I will say I was on my walk last week and I did see a black cat walk across the street, and I was looking over my shoulder then for like the whole rest of the time that I was walking. I had to make sure I didn't step on any cracks or anything like that. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. But hey, yeah, that is great. I don't even remember what were we even talking about. Again, this is what I love about the podcast, when we get tangents like that. No, honestly, I love it, because the same questions that I asked, a lot of the guests, it's like half of the questions I ask for every guest. But oh, yep, the cats just moved. I will say, okay, so I'm mentioning this on air. My favorite moment that I've ever had on the show is I had a bodybuilder on, and he had a cat, and then he had his trophies right behind him, and the cat jumped up on the trophy shelf and started kicking off his trophies when we were talking. And I told him, I said, you do realize that's staying in, because that's the greatest thing that's ever happened on this show. And so,
It's so funny. That's such
yeah.
cat behavior.
Oh yeah, I'm making an animal compilation too. I'm making so many compilations. I'm making a compilation of all the times I've had animals on the podcast, and I especially do it just because, like, if people, I obviously don't wish this on anyone, but if your animal does pass away, then I always send the person a clip of when their animal's on the podcast, just to bring them some more cheer and stuff like that. But yeah,
That's so sweet.
yeah, I try to do the little things here, and plus it's only like 5 seconds to literally just click on a clip, drag it, and then do it. I try not to mention to people like how easy editing some of these things is. I try to make it seem like it's harder than it is, just so that they don't complain that like, oh, why is it not up yet? And I'm just like, oh, it's so hard. But really, it's just like I'm just bored. I'm just lazy sometimes. Like, let's be completely honest here. But
Trust me, I get it.
yeah, well, like even now, like after this, I have like 4 podcasts ahead of you that I got to publish, and like so this will be up in like 3 weeks, and then yeah, I'll get them all done like next week, and then I'll just like I'll just like go to work, because I work from like 3 to 11, and then I'll just do nothing then the whole rest of the time, and I'll enjoy it. But yeah, it is crazy. So as you're getting closer and closer to the show, does your coach have like a plan already set for like what you're gonna do in the next couple of weeks, or do you guys just go week by week? Where are you guys at?
Right now we're still going week by week, but she is already like planning like my peak and everything. She and Aaron work very closely together, and have both just been so wonderful. Um, and just with how my body's responding and the fact that I'm natural, we're kind of like keeping things the same. As I said, like I've been at the same macros for like over a month now, because my weight has just kept dropping, and we've just like been increasing cardio like very little amounts like here and there, um, and we're honestly just kind of trying to like not lose muscle at this point while still getting a little leaner, and then around like 3, 4 weeks out, we're gonna like really go into that final push, really get depleted, and then just like try to like fill me up as much as possible again, because like I am natural. So we want to like bring as much fullness as we can while still like getting as peeled as we can.
Was there ever any temptation to be unnatural, or was it just one of those things where you're just like, I just want to be natural?
It So, like, just, like, with my budget and, like, my age and how new I am to the gym, like,
Plus,
I
honestly, with all your health things, you don't know how that's gonna impact that stuff too.
yeah, I'm just not in a position right now where, like, that's feasible for me. So I'm doing 2 natural shows. I'm competing in the OCB, as my first show, and then a week later, I'm doing, the NPC Natural Clash of the Titans. Um, and so I just, like, also just wanted to really make sure, like, I like this sport and enjoy the lifestyle and, like, have potential. And also, like, I'm still, like, a baby in terms of, like, being in the gym. Like, I've only been in there for, like, 2.5 years. So I just, like, have so much more to grow and learn, before I want to, like, introduce anything like that. Um, I wanna be older. I wanna be, I wanna get as close to my genetic potential as possible. Like, I'm not planning on, like, competing again next year or anything. Like, I wanna do this for a long time. Like, I think it's genuinely what I'm supposed to do. So I think that there will probably be a point where I will, like, implement some PEDs, and go that route. My end goal is IFBB, figure pro. Uh, so it's really hard to do that naturally,
Yeah.
um, unless you just have insane
And
genetics.
screw those people. I've had 2 of them on where literally they could eat like 10 Snickers bars in front of me and still not gain ounce, and you're just like, "Screw you, I hate you."
Mhm.
I always tell them, I hope God's playing a cruel joke on you and you wake up 400 pounds one day, but it hasn't happened yet. But again, I still pray every night to them. I was like, all those people, just make them fat, just for my enjoyment, just for one day. They don't
Yeah.
have to be forever, but yeah, I'm so glad that you have that attitude, because I've talked to people. Obviously, I'm not going to mention names, where they do the opposite, where they just go right into an extreme PD protocol, only in the gym for like a year. They do
Yeah.
they do like what you're doing, like 2 shows, and then they realize like, oh my god, like what have I done? And then they dealing with all that. So yeah, I'm glad you have that mindset
Exactly.
too, because again, I don't have anything against PEDs. I've never done them
Mhm.
myself, but for me, it's just like you have to do your research and you have to know ahead of time. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, I just wanna be in like, a more stable financial position because it is, like, another financial burden of the sport, which is already expensive. Um, and also, like
A great troll that you should have is when next time you're serving and people ask like if you ever compete or something like that, be like, yeah, and like, and I need some money for steroids. So if you guys have a tip, or if you guys can like tip me or something like that, just be the biggest troll ever. That would be hilarious.
that would be hilarious. I
You
don't
guys
think
know
my
anyone that
boss would
deals,
like
by the
that.
way? You guys know anyone? Have anyone inside? As that, see, you're seeing right now the reasons why I could never like really be a bodybuilder, because I would be way too sarcastic and like I would ruin it for everyone. So so I stick to this. I stick to this and I maintain a lean body size and not in anywhere in your because yeah, like my ego would be too much. Like at this point in your journey, how hard is it to walk past a mirror without having to just get a little thing? Because like for me, I would have to have a mirror follow me if I'm 6 to 4 weeks out.
Like, I definitely look at myself a lot. Like, I also, like, make content. Like, obviously, I'm not, like, a huge creator or anything, but, like, I'm trying to grow following, on Instagram and TikTok. So, like, I just, like, take videos of myself and, like, post content. Um, so I spend a lot of time looking at myself, but honestly, like, when I'm in the gym, like, I'm cold most of the time, so I usually have, like, a big t-shirt on and or sweatpants. Like, I post a lot of photos in, like, a sports bra and, like, shorts, because that's usually what I'm posing in, like, because I wanna see how I look, like, when I'm actually posing, like, in my heels and, like, going through my routine. And, like, I wanna show off that I'm lean, but that's not what I look like when I'm lifting. That's literally just, like, the social media fakeness, like, shown, like, it's a perfect example. Like, I always say, like, I genuinely like, the deeper into prep I'm getting, the more I resemble Adam Sandler because, like, my, like, outfits are just, like, going downhill. Like, it is just
Hang on. Look at, I'm wearing the Adam Sandler little shorts, like the little sports shorts too and stuff like that. So that's what my friends call me too. So I understand that. Yeah, and I want to, once I reach 30, then that's when I kind of want to stop, because I do not want to be the 50-year-old Adam Sandler wearing these things, but I still enjoy them. They're like, I've been wearing these since I was like 12, basically. Not the same size, but like, it's still, they're comfy. Yeah.
yeah. So and also, like, the body dysmorphia is just so crazy. Like, there are some days where I just look at myself and I'm like, I am not lean at all. Like, I hate to use this word, but like, I feel fat. Um,
You look fat too, by the way. I just wanted to tell you.
Thank you. I know. Um, um, and it's like so crazy because like I am like really lean right now. Like I have abs. I have like ab veins. I have veins all over my stomach. Uh, I'm lean, and I can genuinely look at myself and be like, Jesus Christ, I am huge. And so like it's definitely like weird. Like your mind plays so many tricks on you. But there are also the days where like maybe I'll hit a new low. Maybe I'll get feedback from my coach and she's like telling me like how good I'm looking and how happy she is with me, because like she is just honestly, she just hypes me up so much. And like every check-in week, like I just like after I listen to her, like I'm just in such a good mood. Like I feel so good about myself. Like I feel like I'm on cloud nine. Um, and so like on those days, like I definitely like take a little bit of extra time, like looking at myself, like checking out the abs, seeing how the veins are looking, taking a little video or two, like taking some pictures. um, but like it all depends on the day. It all depends on how I'm feeling.
Now, I hate to do this, but this is for all of her friends out there, everyone that are listening. If you're still listening to this podcast, I'm going to give you the best insult if she's ever making you angry or she ever annoys you. This is what you say to just break her. Not even just like break her as a human. If she ever really makes you mad, you just walk up right behind her. You whisper in her ear. All you say is this: looking a little small today. And then you turn and walk away. You don't say anything else. You don't even engage her. You pretend like she doesn't exist after that. You walk away. She will be dead. So that's your nuclear bomb that you can use against her, everyone, if she ever makes you mad. I hate to give her that info, but I've already said this about 5 other times on the
So
show.
true.
So everyone, use it wisely. Obviously, don't say it the first day, but like that is your get out of jail free card. If she ever makes you mad, you're like, okay, I can trump her. I'm just gonna go and do this.
No, but that's so true.
Yeah.
I have said so many times that like the biggest insult is like calling me small or little. Because so many like normal people think that like women want to be small and little, so they were like, "Oh my god, you're looking so like little and like tiny," and I'm like, like it just like breaks me.
I mean, one thing that might be worse is if they ask you if you even work out, but I don't want, that's too damaging right there, where you're just like, do you even go to the gym at all? Or like, what are you doing? So that's too cruel. That is literally just like opening the casket for them and saying, get in and, I'll go ahead and I'll bury you. But
I would pass away.
yeah, exactly. So like you said, you're about to graduate coming in December. What do you plan on doing after school? Do you have anything set up or are you just going to wing it? What are your future plans?
The plan right now is probably winging it. Uh, I'll probably continue serving for a little bit, to just, gain some financial stability, probably, like, try to find some personal training work somewhere, but eventually I wanna be, like, an online lifestyle coach and then eventually, like, a prep coach, because, like I said, like, I just think that this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Uh, like, it just brings me so much happiness, and, yeah, like that's where I want to go eventually, but like I'm still in the winging it. Future Alyssa can deal with that phase. So
Hey, I did the same exact thing. Now, I do have some things that I wish I did differently, but you live and you learn. But lastly, I mean, I always love to ask this question to wrap things up. If someone were to walk up to you and say, we made the decision, you can change one thing about the health and fitness lifestyle or bodybuilding, you can do both, and everyone would go along with it, what would be one thing that you'd like to see changed?
Oh god, just, the misogyny and, this idea that so many people have that, women shouldn't be muscular and that, having muscle is masculine, um, because it's it's not. There's so many women who, have just, enormous muscles, but are still so feminine, and I honestly think that, if it wasn't such a stigma that there would be so many more women in this industry because it is just genuinely so empowering. Like the self-love and respect and confidence that you get from the gym and lifting heavy, you cannot get from anything else. Like it is just an indescribable feeling. And it just makes me so sad when I hear people when I get comments from men being like, "Oh, you look like a man," or "I hate that women look like this," or women being like, "It's great, but too much."
You want to hear the best that I've ever heard anyone ever say to someone? So, okay, so this guest is from the UK. She's walking down
Mhm.
the street, and a man walked up to her and said, "You're an embarrassment to look at." That digs deep. Now that's British. That's British insults right there. That's a whole different level of an insult.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's insane.
I like. I wouldn't be able to function the rest of the day because I'd be like, "What the?" I'd be like, first of all, I would be impressed by the insult. I'd be like, "Okay, that's a good. I'll give you that one. That's a good one. Like that digs deep." But
Yeah.
seriously, that's a thinker. We got to think about that for a while. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's insulting someone's entire person, basically, just their existence. Yeah,
Yeah, just their entire existence
yeah.
is shit on.
I'm learning so many good things from this podcast. Like I have so many insults just deep down. Like I dare anyone to try me now. Like I will rip you apart in 5 seconds. That's the best thing I've done from this podcast. Is I've learned insults in German, French, all those other languages. Like I have learned the best of the best. So I just combine them now. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but yeah, that is. I do wish with the misogyny too, where yeah, it's like, well, and I will say the one positive of the gym bros, like if more women got into this, you realize how much more pressure would be on us gym bros to get in even better shape. So there's a tiny positive out of it, I will say, but no, I agree with you 100%. Where it's like, yeah, so many women, especially in college, had that fear where they just pick up one weight and they're just going to put on 50 pounds of muscle overnight. And
Yeah,
I
and
told them, I said, first of all, f you if that ever happened to you. Like I would kill you because I'd be jealous enough that like,
I would too.
yeah.
Like, so many women have this misconception that they're gonna get huge and bulky, and it's like, no, you have to really try hard to get huge and bulky. That is genuinely difficult. You need to eat a lot and train really, really hard. I promise you're not gonna be training hard enough to look like that.
Well, I tell them first off, I appreciate your self-confidence and the fact that you think that that's going to happen to you. I mean, good for you. That's great self-confidence. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. No, just not. I mean, and again, if it does, I will pay you my entire life savings to train with you one time then, because you have found the secret that everybody and their brother's been looking for. You will be the first ever
Yeah.
trillionaire. Like, yeah, it is ridiculous. But yeah, I just wish, yeah. And again, that's why I like doing this podcast too, because I do just like to show people like, yeah, they're average. They're average. Now, again, I do have some women on this show that, they might have a deeper voice than me, but I still appreciate that and I still support that. Where I'm just like, hey, you know what, you do you, but it's yeah, it definitely is. Like, there's so many more feminine people, women out there that lift than a lot of people think. Where they're just like, oh, that's not
Mhm.
feminine, and it's like, no, it's not. I just think it's because that one person goes and ruins it for everyone. Just like in college, there's this one guy didn't even talk. He just grunted the entire time. That was his whole entire method of communication. I was like, you are ruining the stereotype of the gym bro for everyone here. Didn't even talk to everyone, just grunted. That was his entire language. And I was like, I don't know if you're smart enough. I was gonna ask him, I was like, how'd you even get into this college? First of all, like, what was your entrance exam? Just like deadlifting 600 pounds or something like that? What'd you? So, again, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, I do hope that this podcast just has a little bit of effect where it's like, yeah, more people just realize you got to get in shape, especially the way that the country is right now with obesity. I hate
Yeah.
even going out in public now and seeing all these people, and you're just like, just walk, just
It's
walk.
it's honestly just heartbreaking.
Hmm.
There's so many people that just can't move.
Yeah,
And it's not even from a how they look type of thing. I genuinely could not care. I
yeah,
don't care how you look. Whatever.
yeah.
But it's just so sad when people can't move their own body. Because at that point they're incapable of doing things for themselves, and like they're losing their autonomy, and like it's just like it's so
Yeah.
sad.
I mean, there's a reason why everyone loves in the NFL whenever one of those fat linemen picks up a ball and runs it for a while. It's nice to see big people like do athletic things. That's one of my favorite things to see. So yeah, but
Hmm.
it's just yeah. Once it gets to that point, I agree with you 100%. And is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to before we wrap things up?
Um, yeah, my coach, Danner Marshall, from Femme Evo. She has been literally my saving grace. Um, like she has helped me transform both physically and mentally, and has given me the like support and courage to like pursue this and like step on stage. And yeah, like she has taught me so much and just like been there for me in every way. So her, and also my mom, for I know I mentioned this before, but she has just like really been my rock and just so supportive. And I could not ask for anything better. Um, so yeah, I love you guys.
Well, everyone, go and check out Alyssa on her Instagram page. I'll leave a link down below. And yeah, I just really appreciate having you on and sharing your journey. And I wish you the best of luck on your show. This will be out before you compete. But again, I hope you do great. And I'd love to talk to you again in a year or so and just see where you're at. It was so great talking to you. And I wish you nothing but the best. And thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.
I appreciate. Hey, that's the one thing that I get out of this. That if a guest says they had fun, then it means the world to me. But again, everyone, go and check out her Instagram. And this is Ryan Johnson, DD on the spot, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.